This is the first camp I can enjoy myself and be back. My headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that mattered to me.
It's out there about the size and all of this stuff, but people forget that Tank's a top 10 pound for pound fighter, and he's got power in both hands. And skill-wise and technique-wise, he's been doing this for so long.
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweight.
No one saw this coming. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Two icons from completely different paths now collide under one spotlight. Each carries the fire to dominate and silence every critic watching. The anticipation isn't just hype, it's history in the making.
It's night and day, right? You have to understand, I went from doing YouTube and Disney Channel to 5 years, once to twice a day, 6 to 7 days a week, training, recovery, taking it more serious than ever. I'm just a different specimen. My body is filled out. I'm going into my athletic prime and going into that and my body filling out, I just feel amazing and feel super strong.
Jake Paul isn't holding back about the grind he's putting in for the Gervonta Davis clash. He says his camp is stacked with serious talent and that he's already dropped fighters in sparring sessions. He even revealed that Shakur is stepping in this week to sharpen his game before facing Tank. But Jake admitted something fans rarely hear from him: respect mixed with fear. He called Tank dangerous, a word that speaks volumes. Critics often mock Davis for being undersized, saying he's too small to survive against someone like Jake, yet Jake shuts that talk down, insisting Tank's power is no myth, it's explosive in both fists. He knows those compact punches carry the kind of force that can wreck anyone. When Jake admits he's nervous to share a ring with Tank, it's not weakness, it's recognition. It proves this fight isn't the stunt people assume it is.
Going into a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually going to be my toughest test to date.
Yeah, I think, Jake, you could make the argument, right? Pound for pound wise, this guy's the most ferocious dude in the whole sport, couldn't you?
For sure. I think he has probably one of the highest knockout percentages. In
90-something%, right?
Exactly. And just his speed, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his conditioning. He's gone 12 rounds so many different times, something that I've never even done. So he's going to be sharp all the way through. I mean, the list goes on. And so just actually being vulnerable for a second, it's like, this is crazy. This is scary. It's kind of keeping me up at night.
Jake, how do you prepare for, like you said, a guy who is shorter than you? How do you find a sparring opponent to replicate something that obviously, there's nobody else out there that's Tank Davis? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So
Wow.
Just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing this their whole entire lives. But we're really focusing on speed. And not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to lose some muscle so that I have less weight and so that my punches are coming off faster.
Most fans have no clue about the real journey behind Gervonta Tank Davis. From the earliest days of his career, Tank went toe-to-toe with heavyweights, not amateurs, but skilled veterans who knew exactly how to control the ring. Boxing analyst Showbiz revealed that Tank didn't just survive those brutal sparring sessions. He dominated them. He broke down bigger opponents with precision and timing. So when people point out Jake Paul's size, it doesn't shake Tank one bit. He's been trading punches with men far larger and far more technical long before Jake ever laced up gloves professionally. Those early gym wars prove Tank is built for danger. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has evolved rapidly from influencer fame into a legitimate boxer. But he's still polishing the fundamentals. Tank, on the other hand, has been clashing with elite talent since his teenage years. If he could outfight heavier, sharper competitors before, Jake's physical edge might not save him. As Showbiz put it perfectly, this isn't a mismatch against Tank, it's Jake Paul walking into the lion's den.
Bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring. But in the past, You know, like maybe a few years ago, he was fighting a guy in Mayweather's camp. He was a bigger guy. I think he was like a middleweight or something like that. He was whooping his ass. One time he was like on live whooping a bigger guy's ass. I mean, he's just beating bigger guys like middleweights and stuff. He's done that in sparring forever. Remember this story? I've brought it up a million times and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie Set Back. This story of this guy saying how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavyweight.
Tell me the story. What happened?
Tank, what's the one boy name?
No, don't say a name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. I'm like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I've seen him knock out some heavyweights. He might knock all the ass out now.
You knocked out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Cause I hit harder than Wilder.
Now, granted, the heavyweights that Gervonta Tank Davis is whooping and sparring is not like, you know, all-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the heavyweight, the level of heavyweight that, you know, more experienced than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right? I'm thinking that is the caliber of heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is sparring, but he's whooping their asses. And that's a good thing. I feel with Jake Paul sparring Raymond Ford, to me, it looked like Raymond Ford got the best of him. It looked like Jake Paul was a little exhausted, and it looked like Raymond Ford wasn't. It looked like Jake Paul was a little disappointed in his performance, and Raymond Ford was trying to give him a pick-me-up. Like, you know, just kind of letting him know. No, like, you know, we do this and do that. It just looked like Raymond Ford was in a confident, secure place, more dominant place, the more alpha out the two in the ring, and that's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. You know, I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighters list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta Tank Davis.
Tank Davis has made a clear decision about his future. He's done cutting down to 135 pounds. The strain, the exhaustion, the loss of strength, it's no longer worth it. He's stepping into 140 with full confidence, ready to fight where his power stays at 100%. This move marks growth, both physical and mental. It's a new chapter aimed at tougher names and higher stakes, including the clash with Jake Paul. After this battle, Tank plans to stay at super lightweight permanently, where he believes his performances will hit a new peak. Remaining in this division opens more doors and dangerous opportunities. Some fans believe the jump in weight might favor Jake, since he's naturally the bigger man. But Tank sees it differently. He feels sharper, stronger, and more alive here. His endurance thrives, his power turns brutal. At 135, he knocked people out with highlight finishes, but at 140, he's chasing shockwave moments. This version of Tank might be the scariest yet in Jake Paul.
Had been throwing fits a few weeks ago when Gervonta had announced that he would be fighting Jake Paul in, I believe it's coming up in just about a month, or a little bit less than a month, and that he would not be, at least immediately, he would not be rematching Lamont Roach. So people went all up in arms. Shout out to my guy, Big Dog Willie, who even right now is claiming that Gervonta Davis is going to go try to fight in WWE or something like that when he gets done with Jake Paul. But the truth of the matter is that Gervonta Davis is coming back to boxing. He's always said that he's coming back to boxing. He said he's going to run off, get this bag real quick, and he'll be right back. Well, as you see, the 135-pound WBA, the WBA, where he holds his 135-pound championship, has not stripped him. They said that they were going to look into it if he had not rematched Lamont Roach, but nothing ever really came of that. So as of right now, he still has his 135-pound title. But I'm telling you, the way that things are panning out, I don't think he's going to go back down to the 135-pound division. I think he's going to go to the 140-pound division where really and truly all the smoke is there. Add to it the fact that when he fights Jake Paul, he's going to be fighting Jake Paul at a higher weight than he would necessarily be fighting guys at 135 pounds. You're probably not going to see him drain down for the fight. I don't think he's going to bulk up at all. But usually when guys play with their weight and they go up and allow themselves to fight at a higher weight or fight people at higher weight classes.
Boxing insider Carmelo Moughton has made his stance clear. Tank Davis holds the upper hand without question. He points out that Tank's history of sparring heavyweights proves that size won't faze him. Jake may come in bigger, but Tank's ring IQ outshines Ram-S. The true gap, Carmemel explains, is skill. Tank is a refined technician, while Jake is still piecing together his boxing identity. Monton confidently predicts a dominant performance, not just a win, but a statement victory. His insight carries weight because he's witnessed Tank's discipline firsthand, seeing the grind unfold behind gym doors. In his words, talent outweighs size and skill always conquers power. That philosophy defines Tank Davis every time he steps into the ring.
Where's Jake Paul?
I feel like it's going to be a good fight, you know, entertaining. It's an exhibition, so we're going to see how serious they really take it. But I don't know, they both getting a lot of money, so, you know, congrats to them.
What if you had it, like, who has the edge in this fight?
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. You know, he's a real fighter, you know, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, you know, I've personally seen Tank, you know, spar heavyweights, you know, and even me, I spar heavyweights, you know. So the weight's not really too much, you know, for a lot of great fighters, you know, so I feel like Tank gonna get it for sure.
Do you think he kind of be like an advantage because he's like small and like fast? Like someone said that, I'm like, I didn't think about that actually.
Yeah, possibly. You know, he gonna see a lot of Jake Paul's punches coming. You know, he can be able to evade them and then set him up for a big counter.
Wait, but do you think this is gonna be different than the other Jake Paul fights we've seen, like against Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez? I know a lot of people weren't the happiest with that, but I feel like Tank's gonna give him like a different fight. Do you think so?
I think so. We'll see how he adapts to, because a lot of people think it's hard, you know, for a small guy to be fighting a bigger guy, but it's also hard for a big guy to be fighting a smaller guy. It's a small target, you know, they're very fast, so we'll have to see how he adapts to it.
Wait, and is Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson really happening?
Yeah, that's happening.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a date already, or like what's going on?
I don't think there's a date yet, but it's definitely an official fight and it's happening.
So what do you got to say about that? Like, what's going on?
It's gonna be a great show. You know, Floyd's gonna do his thing. You know, hopefully I'm on the undercard so I can put on a great show as well.
No, really? You guys already talked about that?
Not yet, no, but we'll have to see. Yeah, for sure.
And are you gonna fight again this year? Like, what's next with you, Carmel?
I don't know. At the moment, we haven't heard nothing. We're just waiting. You know, staying patient. You know, staying ready. But I should be back at least one more time before the end of the year.
When the fight was first announced, Shakur Stevenson was one of its loudest critics. He openly questioned why a world-class champion like Gervonta Davis would step into the ring with a YouTuber turned bar instead of another elite contender. To Shakur, the matchup felt like a disrespect to the sport he's devoted his life to. But then came a twist no one expected. Reports surfaced that Jake Paul offered Shakur a major payday to join his training camp, helping him prepare for Davis's unique style. That revelation shocked fans and stirred debate. Analysts pointed out that if Shakur truly viewed the fight as a mockery, he would have kept his distance. Yet, once the financial offer came through, he stepped right in. The same fight he once called a circus is now one he's indirectly part of. It's a reminder that in modern boxing, loyalty can shift fast, especially when business starts talking louder than pride.
A lot of money to help him in camp, some easy money to come spar somebody or whatever. Go get your money, right? But what's funny to me is for someone who had nothing positive to say about this fight, and someone who was critical of Tank Davis for taking this fight, and tried to shit on Tank Davis for taking this fight, he sure is doing whatever he can to be a part of it. He sure is doing whatever he can to be a part of the fight. And then to take that a step deeper and a step further, for someone who doesn't want to talk about Tank Davis anymore, he sure is making moves to ensure that he is continued to be mentioned with Gervonta Tank Davis. Shakur Stevenson is not stupid. The new firm that he hired to do his PR work and get him to do these interviews and try to enhance his brand, they not stupid. Jay Prince not stupid. Josh Dubin not stupid. The people around Shakur Stevenson have been building social media brands, building boxers, and building talent in different industries at the same time. I mean, for a long time. They know how this shit works. They not dumb. They know the conversation that is going to surround Shakur helping Jake Paul. Tank Davis' biggest rival going to camp to help Jake Paul. If Jake Paul has any kind of success in the fight, Jake Paul was successful because Shakur Stevenson is on a different level and he helped prepare Jake Paul for the fight with Tank. That's why Jake Paul did so good. They know this, bro. And to me, that's the problem that I always have with these guys like Shakur Stevenson. You can throw Lamont Roach in there. You can throw Devin Haney in there, bro. You can throw Keyshawn Davis in there if you want to. My issue is they won't admit what it is. And I guess it's an ego thing, it's a pride thing, because I get it, bro.
Offset brings a fresh take to the conversation, focusing purely on the physical dynamics of this showdown. He believes Jake Paul's natural size and raw strength could give him a legitimate path to victory. The weight gap is clear, and in Offset's eyes, one clean punch from Jake could flip the script instantly. Yet, he doesn't overlook Gervonta Davis's elite skill set. Davis, he says, is a master of movement, a fighter who can vanish from danger, counter in a flash, and make opponents swing at shadows, while Offset slightly favors Jake because of the size advantage. He admits there's a real chance Jake might never land clean on Tank at all. For him, this matchup is a rare collision between brute force and refined technique, a powerhouse challenger testing a slick, calculated champion.
You saw Jake Paul and Tank Davis?
I don't understand how that's happening, though.
I mean, that's kind of what Jake Paul does, right?
The nigga's 7'8", 6. I'm not saying 7'8". Like the nigga's 6'4".
So you think Jake wins?
Yes.
This is kind of like the Mayweather versus Logan Paul fight, and Mayweather, he got the better of Logan for sure. I think Logan's even bigger
than Jake. Fuck no.
Logan's bigger than Jake. Yeah, like bigger. Yeah, but Jake's now a more experienced boxer than probably Logan was at that time.
I don't know. That weight shit, man, that shit is a real thing.
What's the odds on that shit? I wonder. Not out yet?
Who do you think will win out of Canelo?
I don't really follow boxing like
Canelo,
that.
Man. I like
Canelo.
I like my boy, but Canelo's just
Canelo's a beast.
He not old. He still got it. And he hit hard as a motherfucker. And then like the fighters he fought and lost to was some dogs though. Like most people won't get in the ring with him. So it's like I feel like I don't know. Has he got the I don't know. I feel like he gonna land though. What's that? What's the odds on that?
Oh, listen to this. Davis is minus 205 to beat Jake Paul. Jake Paul's plus 155.
Wow, that's tight odds. Tank Davis is minus 205. Jake Paul's 155 opening odds. Dude, that's crazy. I don't know.
Tank 5'2" though, but it's like he's so short.
Fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying the height difference is
Like,
crazy.
is Jake even gonna be able to hit him? Like,
the
he's
other way
probably so
around.
fast.
He's
Tank's
fast,
gonna be able
but
to hit
Tank's
Jake.
short though.
Tank's gonna hit him a
5'6"
lot,
or some shit,
right?
How tall is Tank? 5'7"? He's like 6'3". So different. That's
No, I know.
6'3" and big. Now technique, you got him in technique because he's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I got to see that fight. That shit sound crazy.
You gamble on football? You sports
He had
bet?
to pay him a lot of money to that fight.
Oh, they're making so much money.
Several analysts have pointed out that many of the voices criticizing Gervonta Davis aren't motivated by concern for boxing but by envy. They believe jealousy has shadowed Davis's rise since day one. Now, with the potential to earn a record-breaking payday in a single night, that envy has only grown louder. These experts argue that most of his critics would jump at the same offer if it were handed to them. Instead of celebrating Davis for securing a massive financial milestone, they choose to tear him down. To the analysts, the constant negativity isn't about integrity or the sport, it's about frustration from fighters who wish they were standing where Tank is right now.
Fire. I get the chance to pick a great business mind brain and help give him some game in the process. I'm down. Oh, we know you're down. So for one, you look like you hating on Tank, bro. Like you specifically. Two, this is the same guy that said he's not watching the fight, but now you're somewhat taking part in the fight because you're trying to gather or help prepare Jake Paul for the fight. And then this is what Shakur Stevenson does, in my opinion. Shakur will make questionable choices, do certain things, right? And then afterwards, he'll be like, yeah, now that I got y'all attention, I got everybody mad at me. Bro, the stuff you're doing is weird. You know what I mean? And it's almost like, to me, it's almost close to like Karen behavior, in the sense that Karens, you see some of these Karens and they do all this extra stuff and then act like the victim. And I told you that's one of the main problems with Gen Z, right? Where Gen Z
they will do just weird things, make weird choices, make weird decisions, and then they'll act like, man, I'm Tupac, me against the world, everybody's against me. Everybody's not against you. You're just doing weird things. You're making weird decisions, it's weird behavior, so on and so forth. So let's ultimately recap. We got to do the Boxing Ego recap to see what's really going on here.
Debate continues to swirl around the rumored payouts for this blockbuster event. Some analysts find figures between 20 and 40 million believable for each fighter. But when reports surface claiming both men could clear nearly 200 million apiece, the doubts begin. Many insiders call those numbers exaggerated exciting, but far from realistic. The matchup is massive, no question, and its global spotlight is undeniable. Yet the idea of such astronomical earnings in a single night still feels more myth than math. For now, the financial truth remains uncertain, impressive on paper, but wrapped in mystery.
It says 150 to 200 mil.
That'd be the most any athletes ever made in one event, in one night. Where are they getting that money?
I mean, it's Netflix.
Okay. Mike Tyson didn't make that. Jake Paul didn't make that.
No. 20 million, I would believe, not 200 million.
20 million seems realistic.
That's a lot.
Even because Netflix is bigger, but there's no pay-per-view model. So, and Gervonta is a big pay-per-view draw, especially for being a lighter weight class.
Yeah.
So 20 to even 40 I can get.
Oof, that's a lot.
40 I can understand.
When push comes to shove, though, like 20.
Like Canelo's getting that 40.
Yeah.
But Gervonta Davis, he was, especially on Showtime, he's a big pay-per-view star.
Yeah.
He's a knockout artist. 200 mil is just completely false.
Man, I mean,
you swipe. What it says? Swipe to read more. What else does it say?
No, there's nothing there. That's probably from the original.
God, Jake is so much bigger.
Yeah, man.
That wraps up today's breakdown. The countdown to Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis is officially on, and the boxing world won't stop talking about it anytime soon. Stay tuned for every twist, update, and inside story. Until next time, keep your gloves up and your eyes on the fight.